not really awesome. Well, it's been a kind of like not an awesome month. Uh, month. January was bad. This one is being weird too. February. I'm hoping March is better. But I mean, there's some things that we said we would do, and we did not do them. Just because the year turned out weird, and I'm an emotional creature, right? And just because the fantasticness of February turned out really fucked too. Um, and we begin again. Let me know how my let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Um, yeah, chat's been weird. So, what did I do? I'm in the middle of putting together a pedal board, if you must know. I'm become a mad scientist with this thing. Um, yeah. Excuse me. I'm I'm saliva verbatim. So look, oh, see, this is the thing. Every time I pick this thing up, the strap catches something. I managed to develop enough of an ear to know that I need a new guitar, and also, yeah, also, I'm fully in. I'm fully in. So I was like, oh man, am I gonna waste money putting a pedal? What? But then I was bothering my man Smooth Panic about it. He's a guitarist, and I was like, I keep saying 6 months. I've been playing longer than 6 months, but I keep saying 6 months. Because it feels like 6 months, but it has been a year. It's been longer than 6 months. I think it's been like 9 months. Or whatever. Where are we? What year went there? Half of last year plus 2 months of this year, right? So whatever the case was. Every day diddling around. I'm like, all right, so I really like this. I'm not gonna sort of stop, but teaching it to yourself, it's not easy. It is not easy, and that's fine. But um, I looked up this thing, and one guy built a pedal for. I'll put that there just to see if anything's in the chat. So they built it for $100, and I was like, oh, all right, $100. So that means three pedals, um, and a rig for $100. That means I don't have to get in and spend $3,000. I can augment my sound, right, with fuzz and wah wah, what all these guys are telling me. So now I'm slowly getting into like some of the more play, ugh, the more play kind of. You guys want to talk about the Ukraine? I think we should. All right. Yeah, I got to get good. I got to get good fast. Which I think if I keep on pace, I'll be good in a year. Right? When we started this, I said a year and a half to 3 years. And I think I said in the early shows, if I'm of average intelligence, it should be a year and a half to two. If I'm below average intelligence, it should be 3 years. But if I'm above average intelligence, it should be 6 months to a year, right? That's just putting all the stuff in my head, keeping the chords in my head, knowing what some music theory is to write a song around, right? Because remember, kids learn at like 16, 17, they get into guitar generally a little younger, that 14, 15. And then they start writing songs, kids. So, I mean, if the kids can do it, uh, you don't want to be so flippant and say, well, if the kids can do it, I can do it. But the barrier to entry isn't so high that a person of average learning ability cannot do it, because children can learn the skill and then learn to write songs that you like, right? So, and that's all we're trying to do here. All right, so let's put this over here. Hi, it's going to be a really interesting summer. um ugh. I have embraced my fate with my phone. It's right over here. All right. Don't know what to do with the show. So William sent me this a couple of days ago. I meant to talk about it yes, and I totally forgot. Uh, um, this young man, this British musician, James Jamal Edwards, I didn't know who he was, right? We can look him up now, but I think I didn't know who he was for a couple of reasons. One, I think for one, he's a much one, he's British. One, I say one, then I name two things. One, really the thing is he's a much younger kind of music. He might be out of my zone. The second part of that, which should really be number one, he's British and he's not international. So he's very famous in his home country, right? I tell people this all the time. If you're famous and a millionaire and everybody knows you in England, it's a coin flip if anybody knows you in America. If the whole country knows you in Australia, it's a coin flip if they know you in America. If everybody knows you in China, no one knows you in America, right? The way you become an international sensation is you go out of your country, you go to these other places. Like Mr. Bean was an international sensation coming out of England. And here, people were like, right? But Monty Python came here and became just this phenomena. Um, and I don't even know what that is. And became this phenomena, and everybody now likes the Stones, not the Stones, the Monty Python's Flying Circus, right? But I wanted to say the circus because I think that's what they call them, the Flying Circus. Uh, it is what it is. So, famous in America, you're famous throughout the world immediately, right? If you get famous rapping here, the world knows you. If you get famous rapping in England or someplace else, any other English speaking place, not so much. And it's just because we have a much bigger population. So you can sell 2 million albums in Britain of their rap population, right? And that's a big thing because their rap population might be 3 million, 5 million people, right? That's like 20% of the population. Here, if you sell 2 million copies to the rap population here, that's dismal. That's not 20% of the population. That's like 1% of the population, right? But it's still the same amount of money. So coming here to America, right, you enter a larger pool, you can sell more. Think of it like this. You're a con man and there's 100 people in town. You eventually have to move out of that town to get more fish. But what if there's the only town? What if you live in the only town, right? So you've sold everything, whether it's, a dirty trick or a bridge or a house or a car, or you dated all the girls, or you sang You wrote all these albums, and all your fans have all your albums, right? Now, what are you going to sell them? Buttons, stickers. I mean, you begin to become unfair and abusive to your base, right? So you look for new lands, and we in America have a very large microphone and a megaphone, and we deal new lands very well here. So people want to come here. Even the freaking communist Chinese are in this system, trying to sell you black pop music. Get out of here! What is that? Um. Oh my gosh! All right, so we are drinking ginger ale because we don't drink anymore. I wonder how long this is going to last. It's funny. I was thinking that yesterday. I was like, I got all that beer in there. Maybe I should have a beer. Then I was like, I don't really want a beer. Why am I trying to make me drink? That's what I thought. And I was like, oh, I feel like giving up alcohol, like I'll be losing something if I say I quit drinking, right? Even as I'm not drinking and I don't want to drink anymore. It's like the admitting of it is a weird thing. What if I admitted that I didn't want to drink anymore? Then I drank, would I be, oh? So my whole thing is that it's gonna run for as long as it runs. My new love now is guitar. Yoo-hoo! For as long as it lasts, and I hope it lasts forever. For as long as I last, and I hope I can get through the weekend. How's that? Let's talk about the Ukraine. Several things are going on in the Ukraine as I see it. Uh, I really do think that Putin has overstepped his hand. We mentioned a couple of days ago on the last stream, his people were saying they don't want this, right? And I mentioned how you can't say that population, a society's population, right? You can't say that in Saudi Arabia or North Korea, right? First of all, North Korea on the crap list is pegging deep red. You can't say anything, right? Then you get into Saudi Arabia, which you can only say positive shit about the government, right? And then it gets into uh, because if you say anything negative, the secret police will come and take you, right? Then you get to Russia, where they're still a fucked up government doing weird shit, but their people are like, why are we even doing this? I mean, we don't need to be invading the Ukraine. Man, they don't want to be part of Russia. Why are you even bothering? Right? Those people won't be carted off like they would have been in the 40s and the 40s was there was war in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Right? We're under the Politburo and the KGB. That's not gonna. So they have moderated a lot too, even though their government is trying to relive past glories. And you better watch that. Old people trying for their last glories will kick off the third conflagration. You know what I'm saying? Him, Joe Biden, who sees Russians everywhere. There's one in his teapot, right? Putin, who's just as old, who wants old glory a of a bygone era that's not coming back, right? Not coming back. And Russia has killed several journalists and imprisoned opposition leaders, like it's Saudi Arabia, right? So they're very similar. The governments are very similar, but the people of one group get a lot more latitude than the people of another group. It is what it is. Let's see where it goes. It's gonna get interesting. What was this? That must have been a while ago. Huh. All right. So I gotta tell you, this thing doesn't look good. And this is what I think is gonna happen. I had a dream about this. I had a dream. I had a dream. It's not really a dream. It was a psychic vision, quite frankly. But don't tell anybody because nobody believes in psychic visions and weird and creepy shit like that. I believe that there are psychic visions, but I don't think you can pay for it. I don't think you can call up one if you wanted to, right? I believe it's one of those wild things of lightning in a bottle, and some people get it. They may get one or two or three in their lifetime, and that'll be it, right? But to say that it doesn't exist because you can't do it on a whim is crazy. And we've seen it, Edgar Casey and his kind of like ways of quite frankly predicting shit. How do you explain that? So, how some people have better antennas than other people, right? Some people's frequency are tuned to separate things, and that's cool too, right? Um, but I'm telling you, man, I think we're gonna get a change in government, and the next person is gonna make this situation worse so they can look tough on the world stage. And I think that's all gonna happen before June 1st. Okay. 7 o'clock. All right. What's today's date? The 25th of February. For God's sakes. All right. Um, I'm losing days here. I thought it was just the 22nd. I just read a story where somebody was like, "Oh, the baby was born 2/22/22 at 2:22 in the afternoon, and oh, look, they're twins." And I was like, "Oh God, I need a fucking cigarette." uh, That's the second time I mentioned it. I told you I had a craving like like 6 months ago, not like 3 months ago, and now I was like, oh my god, I mentioned I need a drink, but it's I need something that I quit. Do you ever see the movie Airplane? It's that whole I picked the wrong time to quit drinking thing. I don't need a cigarette or a whiskey. Uh, I need raw finger talent and a little unity. I need a little brotherhood. I need a little come togetherness because the world is falling apart. And I don't even know what to tell you. I am pleased though. Pleased. Because there's always tomorrow. Excuse me. Until there isn't. So here's a side note. Let's talk about the mask mandate for a little bit. I should be writing these down of what we hit and when we hit it. So they're unraveling all these COVID policies, all these mask policies, right? Some people like got rid of them all completely. Some people are saying, "Oh, you don't have to wear them in here. You don't have to wear them in school." Some people are like, "All right, you only have to wear them in work and in government buildings." Right? This whole shit began to crumble. Right? You made everybody paranoid for 2 years. I just want you to remember that. You got people banned and kicked off of platforms for talking about this. I just want you to remember that. And trust me, it looks to me by election day, there won't be any, so they can go, hey, we got rid of this whole thing. Look, nobody's unhappy about masks. This is great. So, and they're hoping that by then, Afghanistan will be in your rearview mirror, and they'll have a ton of happy talky commercials about we got you this infrastructure bill, tough on first black Supreme Court justice. We made black holidays for the and vote 4 more years of Joe Biden without a mask because we love you. But they didn't really do anything. I would argue, I would myself, I just think the whole thing is just, and I said this before and I got a strike on YouTube. And that was all come around to what I said. You can't maintain this. People wiping down outlets and car cars and grocery baskets. I know somebody made a minnow of these masks, but I am still paranoid about it. So I wear a mask, but that's my right to here in America. I shouldn't be bitched at for wearing one, just like I shouldn't be denied the right to wear one, right? And it is a pandemic. You can be made to wear one, but after a certain amount of time, someone has to go, all right, this has been 2 years. What are we doing? And they weren't doing that. They were tripling down on it and making people lose their jobs and their livelihoods. People were snapping. Remember, people killed people, and they're going to have to answer this for that long after this pandemic is over. because those people will be gone still. All right. What am I looking at here? All right, here we go. Where is it? Some of this video of like this Russian Ukraine thing is crazy. Ugh. It's war, man. It's not pretty. People are glorifying talking loose crap about it here. It is not pretty. It is not sexy. It is bloody and dark. It is war. Um, give me a second. Uh, all right. So, what is going on over here? Let me see what's going on this channel. Let me move this over here so I can get a grip. So, what in the Sam Hill is going on here? They're shooting down planes. They're already capturing folks. We call them folks. Can we call them folks? All right. So, oh my gosh. All right. Um, I gotta tell you, man, this whole setup is sometimes a little wonky for my what's the word I'm looking for? I put this whole thing together with hamster wheels, spit, chewing gum, right? And sugar water, right? It's running on like hamsters and ants and freaking worms for freaking belts. All right. Yeah. Wow. Here's the thing, they are dropping bombs on people and their baby. Wow. The parents of a 15-year-old boy charged with killing four students at his Michigan high school were ordered to stand trial for manslaughter. Talk about ending your family. You, your 15-year-old, when he was 14-year-old, killed four students. Now, I know nobody likes to hear this shit about how torturing somebody and people get back at bullies, right? No one is ever is the bad guy in high school when this shit happens. I'm not making excuses for him. Don't get me wrong. Don't read into shit that I didn't say, right? I'm not saying he should have did what he did. But you break people and people break it, and I tell people all the time, if you break people, they get to decide how they respond to you. They might react, never speak to you again, swear off you or women or men or what the fuck ever, right? And don't like black people and in turn become racist, whatever their reason, they're right. But some might strike out at you and fatally. So, right? Not everybody takes what you're given, right? Um, some because they're trained not to, military people, and some because they compartmentalize weird, like 14-year-olds with guns. Um, the environment, America is just failing, man. It's failing everybody, right? Something tells me down the line, if you could just have gone to the school and was like, handle the problem with this kid, and the school actually did that, and they never do, right? There's a lot of, I don't want to get involved with these fucking parents. Oh, something horrible happened, and it becomes I got to keep my job. Lucky thing I'm in a union. Like a lot of teaching has nothing to do with these fucking kids anymore. Just like a lot of policing has nothing to do with law and order and criminal justice anymore. Has to do with them against the population. Uh, so yeah. But the amazing thing about this is they're gonna make the parents pay for the kid they raise. And I think that's a good thing. But what's gonna happen likely is this is gonna get thrown out in 10 years, but the family gonna be driven into destitution. And the son is gonna be in jail for life for killing four people. Right. Uh I've always said you should be responsible for your fucking kids. Right. I've met some really shitty kids. When I was a kid, I met shitty kids, and when I was an adult, I met shitty kids. And I wonder why are you a hot mess like this? Then I met parents, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. You're a hot mess because your parents are shitty people, right? Don't fall far from the tree is a real thing. Every now and then you get a hiccup in the family where someone goes, I don't want to be like these people. And then they go off and they start a different branch. You look up, my cousin so and so is I don't know, a business owner, doctor, a barbershop guy, or whatever. He doesn't talk to us. He's married. His kids go to that private fancy school. He think he's good. No, he was like at one point he was like, "Ah, fuck this." And if I know some people, he'd have been like, "Hey, I'm gonna try and do this." People would be like, "What's the point? What's the use? Why even bother?" And he was like, "I'm not even gonna hang out with these people," you know. And then all of a sudden, 10 years later, which goes by like this, and like you see him on a bus, train, boat, plane, you know, and you go, hey, that's my cousin, but we don't talk anymore. The families have been shattered this way. Man, the American press love this Ukraine story. It's almost as good as a police shooting. Now they get to run around and postulate and talk about it. Oh my God, they know the family and the children. Oh my God, the civilians. Oh, aren't you? Let's pray for them. People are raising money on Facebook. So distasteful. So distasteful. So distasteful. Oh my gosh. All right. Hey Dr. G, good to see you. S- Yeah, just raising money. People are so full of garbage. Uh CDC issues new guidelines. I'm not even gonna read it because, like I just said, I think there won't be any mask mandates by the time the election comes in November, and then they're gonna be like, "Hey, look at us, we're successful. No mask back. You didn't win anything. You just sort of like, okay, we're just gonna act like this didn't happen, just to separate this from the official record. Look, guys, nothing's contagious. You can go run rampant, and remember to vote for us again, so we can slam the door on you in December." He's got issues. He's got issues with this election. I've read somewhere where 56% of people think he's doing a shitty job. If 56% of people thought that a year ago, he wouldn't have been elected. Well, he'd been elected 2 months in, but a year and a half ago, he wouldn't have been elected. I take pride in saying I was against Joe Biden before it was cool. Just because of his history. His history is not awesome. Happy Friday, Doctor. Happy Friday. What you got going on? Are you gonna do anything? I hope you got some sunshine and what goes with sunshine and picnicking. Well, it's gonna be cold and rainy, I think. Uh, for yourself and your family this weekend. You know, it's hard to go anywhere. I wanted to go to. I drove by a movie theater and I was like, "Oh, Spider Man." And there was another movie. I was like, "Oh, I can see that," but that was just kind of like, I am not trying to sit in a movie theater for 2 hours. Uh, I mean, I guess I can watch it on Netflix. I just got a my nephew was here, we're hanging out, got a letter, not a letter, but a bulletin on my Netflix that they're gonna charge me more, and I had to kind of like okay it, I guess. And I'm just kind of like, this is the way it is. As soon as you get a little ahead, everything goes up. People are talking about inflation, and what the government will do, and it's done it before, is give the population money to calm them down when people are about to freaking riot. George Bush did it, right? Gave you, I'm gonna give you your money back. It's really like sort of like a kickback to you, a bribe to you. Here's the problem: just don't take so much of the people's money. Let them keep more of their money, and you don't have to do these. Hey, aren't I magnanimous by giving you back this cash from the state treasury? Everybody's overtaxed. The problem here is, you know, the American government is just bad. You spend you're shitty with the spending of the money. We've got infrastructure problems, and then you just attack the American people with penalty of prison. If you so essentially you're robbing the American populace perpetually for your bad ideas to give it to foreign countries, and then when times like this, you don't even you know alleviate the stress and the strain in the situation, right? It's that American version of the British stiff upper lip, like nothing is going wrong, right? Shit is going wrong, brother. Uh, thank you, Doctor G. Um, so yeah, I had a conversation with Ted. Well, not really a conversation. So Biden taps Katani Brown. Here's my problem with Katani Brown. Uh, Okay, I'm trying not to be disrespectful. The last thing I'm going to be is disrespectful. I always give people props for their hard work and getting to places, but I'm a person steeped in civil rights history, and that's how I look at all this. So my first thing is, I think Joe Biden and his whole thing is just sinister. He's been sinister since for 50 years in government. He shouldn't have been president. I think it was openly and apparently and obviously racist. He's in bed with like some of these people who don't do anything but stay in power, like Clyburn, right? Why does he have so much power? He's not a senator. He's a congressman of a small district in North Carolina. Why do I care what he has to say about me here? Not here, I don't live there, but me in Brooklyn as a black person, or me in Alaska as a black person, or me in Hawaii as a black person? Nothing, right? Why is he a kingmaker? And if he's making kings, how come he hasn't been able to look into the criminal justice system and these police to actually stop these unjust killings, these extrajudicial killings, these execute? Why? But he can get you to vote more for the bullshit. That's what she reminds me of. She's a woman that people who screw me over want to hold up as an example so other people can come to their banner. So my question then becomes, what is her record? Because now she strikes me as either uh, an ally of yours against me or a usable pawn. Either way, I don't need either. Right? I need criminal justice reform. I think all American people need uh, healthcare reform. I think we in the black community absolutely need criminal justice reform, which covers police. Um, we need a financial review. All of what we need is tied up in the legal way of how they steal from us. The banks are allowed to steal from us because the judges say so when you take them to court, right? The cops are allowed to murder so because the judges say so when you take them to court, right? Uh, Cops are allowed to do this and never even enter court because the law says so. So I mean, you'd have to be stupid not to know who your enemy is in this fight. And the people who claim to represent you, who keep going and never tell you who you're fighting against, but only ever tell you to raise money and then come out and vote. That's all they ever say. They don't tell you to do anything else but vote. Those people killed the civil rights movement. Those are the people who overrun the NAACP, and while the NAACP is an absolute joke now. So, her and the civil rights. So what? Clarence Thomas. So what? So what? Who's changing shit? Don't play these games with me. Ridiculous. So yeah, I'm glad she gets to be, but don't act like she became a lawyer for me, and all her law days had been doing Thurgood Marshall shit. We need a black face and who needs a woman. We got a ton of those, right? I'm also the guy who tells you that Kamala Harris is not black. This one drop rule bullshit should have died out in the 1800s. Now you're using it for you when before it would get you kicked out of college in the 1800s, right? She's got no pictures of any black people in her family. I could flip through my old Facebook page, ton of black people, right? If I showed up and said I was what's the woman who joined the NAACP? I was what's her name? Rachel Dolezal. I'm a black woman, and people go, "Here's your white parents." She's discredited, right? How come Kamala Harris is not discredited? How come she's not discredited? Usable pawns, right? I'm on to you. I need real change. You're not helping. Get out of the way, right? And then the people who put you up to get me to buy into it are absolutely not to be trusted. So yeah, we in the black community need to fix our shit, and it starts with us fixing our shit, not somebody else fixing our shit. And they'll do it with stuff like this. Hey, look what we did for you guys. So come out and vote for us. And no, what? No, you just killed a guy sitting on his couch. You let another cop who killed Laquan McDonald out after 3 years. What? No, you people are idiots. I'm not voting for you. I'll be pulled over tomorrow and have my brains blown out on my way to vote for you. No, you're not doing. Look, do what I want you to do for me, and not whatever the fuck you. Excuse my language. Whatever the hell you gonna do for me, right? So if I say, "Hey, my birthday's coming, bake me a cake for my birthday," that's what I want you to do for me. Don't go, "Yeah, here's your birthday. What do we got here? Hey, here's leftover fried chicken. Happy birthday. Hey, I did something for. No, you did. It's not what I wanted. I didn't ask you for it. What is this shit? This is where we are. Hey, black people, gave you a holiday. Nobody asked for that holiday. Black History Month, utterly quiet in this system. I heard something about they're already planning. What was it? Not July 4th. Kiss Me, I'm Irish. What is that? St. Patrick's Day. I was like, what? Let the month run out first, right? Nobody's Kiss Me, I'm Black. No one's wearing red, gold, and green. No one's doing any of that. Why? Because nobody really fucking cares. And we in the black community are like, I remember when they made this thing a holiday. We were like, February, why? And it was January when I heard January in New York. And we were like, why February? They were like, oh, Martin Luther King. We were like, yeah, warm weather people. So it's all this kind of things. And I remember Bill Maher had a famous thing about sometimes I was like, yeah, but sometimes it's exactly what we say it is. Right? No, we don't care about this holiday. Our holiday, if you really want to know, is June. Juneteenth. All of a sudden the gays get June. Okay. All right. Um, like this is the thing. You ask these here's you want a side argument, outside conversation. So I had a friend on this platform who's no longer on the platform. He pissed some people off and they essentially uh got him kicked off the platform. But well, that's a little lenient. He played loose and dirty with the rules, and the rules got him right. Let's say that. Here's the thing: a lot of people didn't like what he had to say. Freedom of speech? Yeah, no, fuck that. Get him out of here. That's that's the shit I'm talking about, right? People are only as you have to make people be democratic because you don't. They will be authoritarian, and they will have other people do their dirty work and all this. You can look. Don't have the conversation with them and keep it moving, or challenge him, change his mind, give it as good as you get. But the idea that you want somebody to go away and this is where we live, and now everybody goes away. You can't. Yeah, no. This is why I don't have a lot of people on this pod because people say wild and goofy shit, and I'm the guy who chases it. I'll chase it because I want to know why you said that and what you mean by that. And I ask you enough questions that by the time we've been talking for 90 minutes, I'll be like, you hate your mother. I will track that shit. I will ask you 1,000 questions about all, and I'll put together a rough, loose frame of you and be like, oh, he hates his mother, or her father cheated on her mother and left her mother. That's why she's got this issue about all right. Oh, this guy, he's from Midwest song, so he's sort of scared of black dudes, and he is living in Brooklyn now. He's got to go. Oh, I know what his issue is. It's a real thing. I have quirks, and people can suss them out. I've had people tell me, you always do X. Do I? I do? Really? People are always watching you. Not everybody, because some people are dense as fucking sticks. Dense as sticks. Dense as stone, right? But other people don't say shit and they're just watching. They're not all evil and sinister, but right, they all do have a curious nature. Let's check the chat. So quiet you can hear a rat piss on cotton. That's the truth. Yeah. Yeah, Challenger turned the channel. And that is it. I tell my friends all the time, Americans, we're here in America, Americans love a lynching. You know, I mean, that song Bitter Fruit, it's about, and it's not just black people, right? When immigrants went west, they were lynched by the white townsfolk for being, all this kind of, and the people in power let it rule because it wasn't touching them. So America can be stupidly rural and pastoral in the worst fucking way, right? And we're still being screwed around with. My man Ted. It told me about myself for 40 years. Yeah, yeah. Um, it's look, if here's the thing, I'll tell anybody this because I like to talk to people, and I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my days. Let's hope that's longer than this year. Um, I think if you believe something, you had better be able to stand up in an open forum and defend it, right? And I believe that if I stood up here and said women shouldn't be able to vote, and here's why. Oh, and drive, and here's why. You should be like, get him the fuck out of here. You should be like, no, 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 no. Let him talk. And then let me dig my fucking grave. Let me just he comes up here, he says the stupidest shit. Have a beer and watch me go. Then you see me at the grocery store, you go, that's the idiot, right? Same thing with racism. Let me get up here and tell you why black people are smarter than white people, or smarter Asians are stupid, or the white man is superior, or as a white man, let me tell you why I'm superior, and this is that, and that is the other thing. You should let him say it. This has nothing to do with violence, right? Everybody's a touchy bitch. Excuse me. Everybody's just fucking touchy. I want to hear you say that, and then I want to hear you take questions. Okay, okay. We're gonna bring back slavery. I have one question about that. Can anybody own slaves? How have you thought this shit out? Let's just run at it. But no, I'm offended by everything. He must go away. Drag him from the, so I can go back to fetishizing all these celebrity children and who they're dating, or some broken marriage of some celebrity. That, you know what? It's just the whole American environment is just goofy to me now. As the place falls to pieces, I maintain that I want to hear what you have to say. I want to be like, whew, I almost bought that until he said that thing. Man, the scale of 1 to 10, I was down up until like 4, and then he said that thing came off the right. People do this. Sometimes you're for them, and then they come off the rails. Oh, I was for John Edwards. Now he's just out here like it's, man. I'm glad I found out now before he was president. So right, you don't always instantly know. So you should let some people talk. Now I say let all people talk. Right? I'm confident enough in what I believe to, to talk about it. And on this stream, there's been several times where I was like, really? Huh? Huh? And then I talked about it for a couple of days, and you essentially saw me on stream change my mind about a thing, right? But the idea that you go, yeah, freedom of speech, but he can't say anything, right? And I'm from New York. There's this energy that some people go get other people to do their dirty work, right? But at the same time, you should be smart enough not to take the bait. So it is what it is. All right, let's check the chat. Teddy Ted, you want to come up? I got time on this Friday. So I was talking earlier, nobody was in the chat. I put together a pedal board. Anybody know what that is? Guitar people? No? Pedal board. All right. um, I don't even know what to tell you. I'm so swimming. I feel like it's a giant milestone. I feel like it's a giant milestone of me putting together this pedal board. Even as I have trouble playing the guitar standing up. So yeah, there's going to be a lot more of that. I'm thinking about starting an actual guitar YouTube and doing that seriously because these are straight streams. There's no editing. It's just me kicking it to you. Uh, U.S. troops in Latvia tell Putin, "Don't mess with us." Minister says, "Wait, the U.S. troops in Latvia tells Putin, 'Don't mess with us.'" The minister says that. So the minister said the U.S. troops said that because the U.S. troops aren't supposed to be saying shit. The American president speaks for the U.S. troops. I don't think we need the minister to kind of like kick this shit off. The U.S. troops here in Latvia said, "Come over here and get some." 5 minutes later, what are these people in my chat with this weirdness? 5 minutes later, America is dropping bombs on people. The U.S. troops in Latvia tell Putin, "Don't mess with us," quote unquote. Minister says. The minister said they said that. Vladimir Putin says Russia is ready to negotiate with the Ukraine. What would you negotiate? We'll let you have this piece, but we're going to take the other half of it. That's what they're saying because they invaded Latvia and not Lithuania, Donetsk like 5 years ago. So they're gonna go, okay, we're just gonna keep where we were 5 years ago. Y'all can go back to, or we're gonna take it all. You know what? That's like people bum rushing your house and then okay, you know what? We're gonna take the house in the garage. We're gonna take the garage in the back. We're gonna take we're gonna take the garage and the backyard, and you can keep the house. But if no, we're gonna take everything. So man, Europe is weak, fat and lazy. Our enemies are still aggressive. You should have killed them off when you had the opportunity. Instead, you taught them how to fucking make drones and satellites. And look, China had no future until we started giving them money. Right? They were so poor they were killing off their daughters because the boys were valuable. What kind of fucking stupid 5,000-year-old nonsense is that? Don't you realize that when your society grows up, you're going to be lacking ladies in it, and this is exactly what they have. It's a sausage fest over there. Everybody can't wait to leave. And then on top of that, there's aggression from the government. The world would be a much better place if Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, and Iran were X, Y, or Z. I don't know about that because the West has been a shit show too. So maybe the world would be a better place if America, Britain, France, Germany, Australia, to some extent Canada, did X, Y, Z. Right? How about everybody just fucking get their shit together? How about you and the Israelis stop killing the Palestinians and fucking warring with the Middle East? Middle East stop fucking trying to kill the Israelis and trying to kill each other. I'm talking Yemen and Saudi Arabia and fucking Iraq and Iran and yeah, I'm talking all of y'all. Stop it, right? And then the West stop just attacking everything brown, essentially. And that's been the story for at least the last 2,000 years, at the very minimum, since the Romans. Right before the time of Jesus, easily. And some will say further back. The Jews say 5,000 years, right? Outrageous. The Russian tank crushed this dude in his car and he survived. Look at this. Let's see if we can get is going on? You know what I have to do? I had to do this the last time. See him sitting there? See if I can get my finger in there. He's just sort of crushed in his car. Tank ran right over him. I mean, okay, let's see if I can do this. You see that? Oh, that is better. All right. That's way better. Oh. So Tank just ran over he's driving this way. Tank just crunch. Your car is not meant. What the hell is this? What is this? Yeah. Oh. Rita Moreno. Stop that. Um, what are you gonna do? Right? So these are your weekends. Do something good with it. Um, cook something, go out, go camping. Like I said, it shouldn't be a respite from work. It should be something that you do for yourself, right? It should be like, oh, I'm glad I'm not working and sit on the couch. Um, sit on the couch all weekend and then go, oh, it's Sunday night, I got good work tomorrow. Right? You should be jazzed. How was your weekend? Oh, my weekend was great. Have everybody at work going, how come this weekend is always fucking fantastic? That's what you want, right? If you waste these weekends, the bad guy wins, essentially. The bad guy wins, you know. Everything's so expensive, everything's too expensive. Find a way to do stuff that doesn't cost and the stuff that should cost. You know, you should be politically active and you should maybe wage war in small increments in your neighborhood. This shouldn't be so much and that should be less and the kids should have this and the older people should have that. And have a holistic, all-encompassing approach to community, not just your people and your health. You know what I mean? Your and when I say your people, I don't just mean race. I mean like uh me and the other 24-year-old hot girls, me and the other 30-year-old handsome men, me and the other 40-year-old moms, me and the 60-year-old dads, 30-year-old dads, right? I mean, society has everybody. You shouldn't just be one clump of whatever. Me and the other club kids, me and the other emo kids. You should be like me and my small society of people, the moms and the dads and the kids and the thigh. We're thinking about what we want, you know. Like if I gave you a plot of land and I was like, yeah, I got $1 million and this plot of land for you. What are you gonna do with it, right? Of course, the men will go, "Well, boxing arena." Oh no, no, women go, but we want, I don't know, I don't know what women might want. And the kids go, "We want a skate park." Right? No, we want something for the whole community, is what I'm saying. So you get everybody together and you go, well, we're all talking about something. Maybe what we need is some outdoor activity park kind of thing, since that's what we're talking about versus an arena. And right, so now you don't need an arena. You're talking to everybody, and then by the time you end it, maybe you have some nice walkable place with a place to skate park for the kids and a place where the dads can barbecue and do arena shit. What are you doing in arena? Football, but you could do that in the park, right? So yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. But in the modern America, it's all down to it's all mine and no one gets anything. And why are we even sharing with those pieces of crap who are my fellow Americans? You're like, what? What? So yeah, I think all sides play us against the middle for race because it's you know it is what it is. All sides play the middle um, against us, and as they're here selling whatever product and doing whatever they want. Um, and I think we are so used to how this plays out. So this is familiar to us. Oh, another war in Europe. Here we go. The Russians. Joe Biden. You know, it's you're so familiar with this that you're gonna fall right in line with this play because they've been running this play on you forever. And whether you know it or not, you're cast in it as the audience. Oh my God! Hey, war in the Ukraine. Oh heavens to Betsy. We should raise funds and give. You always do that. No one goes. Wait. Stop. Why are we at war in the Ukraine again? Oh, because black men? No. Don't. But what? Why? right? And then someone's gonna go, yeah, NATO was opening bases closer and closer to the border where they said they weren't gonna do it. Russia doesn't want the Ukraine to become part of NATO, which my opinion as a citizen, uh, us building bases closer and closer to you is provocation. Yeah. Uh, then, like I said, you do what you're going to do. I mean, your enemy doesn't get to choose what you do after they do something. They invaded the Ukraine. Having said that, can they invade the Ukraine? Fuck no, no. Look, them saying Ukraine is ours and we're invading for the Nazis, no, it's bullshit. Right? The Ukraine is not theirs. They lost it in a war. It's sort of like if like these breakaway republic, Donetsk and I forget the other name. Leniniskus. Anyway, it's like if British people showed up and was like, you know what? We the first they sent troops in 5 years ago. They've been there ever since, and then those troops said that they were Russian citizens, and they became like the separatists, right? And then they declared like Russian legion, and then the Russians use that as a to go in and take this place, and that's like somebody the Prince of England who's in California going, you know what? I think that California belongs to England, and the English going, we're going to save California from the evils of American racism and colonial imperialism, and they land an army in California, right? That's the logic. That's essentially logic, right? We're taking it back from the colonial days. It was ours to begin with. You were like, what? That doesn't make any sense, right? It's like if Italy said, "Look, all of Britain was ours under Caesar and the Gauls, and we decide to we claim the right to unite uh, all of us Caesarians, right? Which is Rome, Italy now, and Gaul, France now, and Britain now, right? So what logic is this? What logic is he using? Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense. That, but what you gonna do? He's got an army, and now he's going, yeah, come over here, and I got nuclear weapons. None of this was going on when Donald Trump was president. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Everybody was like, whoop, we don't know what he's up to. You know what? We're just gonna wait the Americans out. Fuck them. I'm a Saudi prince. This guy's going, I'm a fucking dictator of North Korea. Ching Chang Ping is going, I'm gonna dictate China forever. Putin's going, I'm not leaving. Like, only one who left was Angela Merkel, and she decided to leave. She was there 12 years, right? What did the Queen Elizabeth say? Nothing. She's been there for 70 years. They wait us out. They know we're just coming try hand with the next guy. America's foreign policy is shit. It's inconsistent and it's bullshit. It really is. And I said it before. People need to go to prison for treason for some of the shit they did in the State Department. Outrageous, right? And then let Hillary Clinton raise her head today. What? Nobody look. I wish someone would look into Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton the way everyone's looking into Donald Trump. Y'all are making me a Donald Trump defender. You really are. You really are. It's making me crazy. It's making me fucking nuts. Um, but the bad thing is a bad thing. You shouldn't want the bad thing done, right? If this guy over here is the Republican and he smacks ladies, you're going, that's outrageous. He's smacking women. He shouldn't be in Congress. That's outrageous. And then this guy over here who you love, he got the best jokes. He's the best liberal, Democrat, progressive, whatever. Da, da, da. And he's over here smacking ladies too. And you're like, and I go, what the hell is that? You go, you know what your problem is? You love Donald Trump. No, 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 no. The bad thing is the bad thing. The Batman is the bad man, and the Batman will do the bad thing. And it doesn't matter what side he's on. The Clintons sold us out in the 70s and 80s, and they're Democrats. And this is why I'm absolutely against the Clintons. Right? That crime bill, it killed people. Stop acting like, oh, it was a bad decision. We're moving on. There were people that it fucking affected. Right? If I say forget about World War II and the Nazis, we're moving on. Got sick of hearing about it. It's been 80 years. People will give you blowback. They're connected to that storyline. People with more power than I would give you blowback. Right? Doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Um. All right. We've been streaming for an hour. We've got 15 minutes. Whew. So, man, I'm telling you, this Ukraine thing is crazy. It's crazy. Uh, but I'm pumped because I put together a pedal. Uh, I was I was watching a guitar guy. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, so um, I was watching these guitar guys like do lessons and stuff, and you know, trying to get like faster fingers and more accurate, like and how to hold it and all this stuff. The guy goes, uh, nothing worse than excuse me, nothing worse than I got to start running because I got too much tire weight around my midsection. He goes, nothing worse than a clean guitar, right? Um, he was talking about looping and stuff and effects and everybody. This is a naked guitar, right? I've got no wah wah. I've got distortion on my right. That's something. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So crunchy, crunchy, crunchy. I don't really like it though. Let's turn it all the way up and see what we get. Yeah. Oh, let's cut it off. It's just not for me. But so he was like, yeah, clean sound is like, ugh, you got to get a good sound. And I was like, ugh, pedals, like, you see people stepping on stuff and rocking out. You go, I mean, how down the line? I figured I'd get a pedal in 5 years when I was good. What? But I would like some of that stuff. This got it. And then I looked into it. Some of these pedals are like $25. And I was like, huh? And then I found this thing there where there was like a guitar pedal build for $100. And the guy put 3 pedals in and a case that you could pour it around. I was like, so I finished buying all this stuff to put my pedal kit together. It's gonna be here tomorrow. Here's the thing. I don't know if I'm premature, but I kind of don't care. Right? When you get these hobbies and you spend a little money on stuff, the finger and doodle, that's part of the fun of the hobby. And I'm really jazzed because I thought it was gonna cost me hundreds of dollars and it didn't. And I can still get in and throw some effects around as soon as I figure out. And I know what the problem with this is. Uh I have a grounding wire problem. I have to buy another outlet, uh, so there is no bleed, and then my speakers will be oh shit magnifique. And then I'm off to the races. Off to the races. And then that dream that I told you, that weird thing that somebody in High Pod. We're not going to be around by June. And I'm when I say June, I mean the end of March. I that same dream, I had to plug in. What was I doing? I just keep a dream journal. I don't even do that anymore. Man, life comes at you fast. I had I had I think I had it hooked into the computer. And forget it. It's for oh anyway. War in the Ukraine. Think it's gonna last long? I said it before, I said it again. This is how World War II started, right? Some innocuous little shit in Europe, in a place nobody wanted to fucking go be bothered with. And you got him threatening nuclear war, right? This is the second time someone has threatened nuclear war against America. Like under Trump, Kim Jong Un did it, and Trump shut that shit right down. And now Vladimir Putin is doing it, and everybody's acting like he didn't say anything. And I'm over here like, hmm. So the question is, what are we doing here? Vladimir Putin says Russia's ready to negotiate with the Ukraine. It's been like 48 hours, and now you're ready to go negotiate. I'm telling you, they're gonna be like, we want Donetsk and what's the name of the other place? Um, Kiev and Donetsk, Kiev and Donetsk, and you can have the. It's like someone coming and going. All right, we're gonna take half of the country, and you guys can have the other half. And we're going, okay, great, as long as there's no war. And they're going to be back in 10 years to take the rest of it. But you can't stop them from taking it. So what do you do? What do you do? I mean, he was talking about the West knows he's going to invade. They should be here doing something. First of all, you're not a member of NATO, right? Second, it's what? I mean, yeah, you're not ordering the peace. So yeah, can you send me the American Army and a few divisions of XYZ? Can you put some pepperoni on that and have them here later? And I mean to have them here later. I want them here before the Russians get here, because the Russians are delivering ass weapons. You know, you listen to this stuff and you just kind of go, "What in the ever loving fucking world is going on here?" This picture of this guy crushed in this car is outrageous. Outrageous. Meanwhile, everything in America is trying to sell you something. Sell you bullshit love story. Love is Blind season 2, right? The Bachelor. It's selling you love now. Love is a commodity to be sold on television. And the people who are in these things know, oh, if we get married, then we can sell lipstick and so and books. And then we just stay married for 5 years, and then we'll get divorced, and then we can write a book about parenting and from a distance and co-parenting and I wish you well. And then we can be just celebrities by people watching us. Like, no, no. How many fucking celebrities does this country need? All this distraction. We need to solve our problems. And the people in charge are not doing that. It just keeps giving you the worst people to freaking look up to. Oh my gosh. All right. Who is Saint Javelin and why is she a symbol of the war in the Ukraine? First of all, you can't ask me who she is and then why is she this important person in the Ukraine, right? You're selling the story now. You're telling me who she is, and you're telling me what she is under the heading of, "Hey, don't you know about this? This is not news. It's not news." Oh, Israeli PM spoke with the Ukraine president, offers humanitarian aid. That the aid we're giving you guys, because we give them a lot of humanitarian aid. Is this some shit that we give people humanitarian aid, and then they turn around and talk humanitarian aid to somebody, and they get why are we giving you anything in the first place? Man, the American people are suffering, and we're just giving away tons of money to other people who don't need it. Israelis don't need American money. Russians facing more resistance than they expected. I told you that 2 days ago. I was like, well, actually, I think we mentioned it earlier on this show. I was like, even the Russian people are like, dude, what the fuck? Which makes it hard. And like I said with China, right? People always talking about war with China. War. I'm like, look, listen, we'll knock China over in a fucking not a weekend, but we will because listen, a lot of Chinese people don't want to be Chinese. They want new government, and one of them can't do anything. He'll be carted off and arrested, just like that guy who ran across the neutral zone barrier from North Korea into South Korea, desperate to get out. Once it rips, there are a lot of people, and not a quarter of 1%. But look, if you invaded America, you're not going to get half the American military, uh, uh, picking up arms against and welcoming Britain or China or India or Greenland for that matter, right? You're not going to get that. Do that in China. There's a lot of people who don't want that regime. They're dark and cruel. There's a lot of people who've had family members treated poorly, seen a lot of, who don't want it anymore. Just like if you invaded, people talking about greeted as liberators, right? Um, just like if you invaded uh France, World War II, right? The Nazis were all over the place. The French didn't want the Nazis there, right? Now that's a separate army, but it's the same kind of energy, right? And this happened with the Israelis. Israelis and Palestine when shortly after World War II, where all those Israelis were dropped in Israel by the UN and Britain. And when they were trying to suss it out, there was a bombing at the Hilton there. And that bombing was the first terrorist attack in modern history, quite frankly. Um, Russia is facing more resistance than Moscow anticipated in the invasion of Ukraine, including its advance on the capital, Kiev. Is it Kiev or Kiev? Is it Kiev or Kiev? K Y K-Y-I-V. K-Y-I-V. Pronounce. Is it Kiev or Kiev? Good Lord. Now you look up for the pronunciation thing, you can't freaking find it. Ukraine. All right.
Ukraine. Ukraine.
Okay, so Kiev is not Kiev. K-Y-I-E-V is not K-I-E-V, Kiev. K-I-E-V. All right. We should know more stuff, but we knows what we knows, and that's all that we knows. Ouch. That hurt. All right. Here we go. Russia is facing more resistance than Moscow anticipated in this invasion of Ukraine, including its advance on the capital, Kyiv, K-Y-I-V, Kyiv, and appears to have lost some of its momentum, a senior U.S. defense official said on Friday. Russian missiles pounded Kyiv on Friday. Families cowered in shelters, and authorities told residents to prepare Molotov cocktails to defend Ukraine from an assault that the mayor said had already begun with saboteurs in the city. Here's the thing. What are you going to do with a Molotov cocktail? If you had an army, a city full of Tom Brady's with these great arms, right? You still can't throw it faster than a bullet, farther than a bullet. A bullet can hit you with a scope from like 2 miles away. And you're not going to be close enough I mean, they're not marching in formation past you. You need guns for this work. Guns and bombs and other dirty tricks. Uh, Russian military pounded Kiev on Friday. Families cowered in the shelters. The Ukraine capital to prepare. put this over here. Let's reset this. Let's hit that. All right. We're running long, people. Have they been arming the citizens? That's good. I hate to say it because, like I said, people talk smoke around about Americas and all the guns, but America's a hard push if you try and invade. Just because, I mean, I'm not even talking about the military who's got all the toys and all the money and all this super training. There's just guns everywhere. You don't know who has one and who doesn't. And that makes it really hard. And we're a willful society. If you showed up with like, okay, we handled your military, everybody with a weapon, show up here and put it on the desk tomorrow morning. You're gonna get a couple of people who do that, but you're gonna far more who won't. I don't know what to tell you. America, baby. America, fuck yeah. That song and Blame Canada are two of my favorite songs. They so they so quintessentially wrap up so neatly what it is to be an American. So America blaming Canada is just, yeah, blame somebody else. We're Americans, we didn't do it. Uh, but the but the truth, Canada is just hysterical. And the idea of America, fuck yeah, is essentially uh, a MAGA hat as a song, isn't it? It's just, and it's like 10 years before like that MAGA hat. It's so funny. Oh yeah, let's read this. All right, we're gonna take this over here. All right, first we're gonna. Oh wow. All right. All right, hold on. All right. Russian faces more resistance. So, Russian missiles pounded Kiev. Uh, having and saboteurs. But the U.S. officials who spoke on condition of anonymity, everybody speaks on condition of anonymity. That's a problem. Suggested a mixed picture for the Russian effort to press on an offensive that Washington and Kiev said is aimed at decapitating the government and installing a puppet regime. We do assess that there is greater resistance by the Ukrainians than the Russians expected, senior defense official said, adding Ukraine's command and control of its military remains intact. They didn't cut the head off the military. They are not moving on Kiev as fast as what we believe they anticipated they would be able to do. They said they, yeah, and then your army's going to go on the ground and just get loose on you, like the first Gulf War, when all the military people just went underground. Um, they said all they need is ID to get weapons. Yeah, you want to give them to Ukrainians. You don't want to give them to uh, a whole bunch of Russians coming over the border arming the Russians. So Russia has not yet mobilized the majority of its forces. So you still have a bunch of forces arrayed around the Ukraine. They may be having second thoughts. The official said assessing that just about one third have now been committed to its offensive. So there's still two. The official said the official cited indications of a Russian amphibious assault west of Mariupol, Mariupol, putting potentially thousands of naval infantry ashore there. The United States has also observed more than 200 total missile launches so far. Although most of the Russian targeting has been against a Ukraine military installation, some of the missiles have landed on civilian residence areas. Uh, Usually, when that happens, someone lives there, right? So he may not be a general, but maybe he's their tech guy, right? So if someone invaded America and they attacked Washington D.C. and they struck the Pentagon and they struck the White House, right? And they struck the Library of Congress. So government buildings, the Library of Congress, like what? But still a government building. But then down the road, they struck a farmhouse, right? Someone lived in that farmhouse. Somebody was going on in that farmhouse, right? Some high value something was in that farmhouse. If they hit a housing complex, they likely hit an apartment complex with missiles that go through windows. They hit an apartment at the housing complex. They didn't drop the whole complex, and they could have, but they hit it with one that blew like 3 apartments to shit. What was the center apartment that it hit? Is what I want to know. Um, because you want me to believe that the most in all of war, the ordinance that will land literally from Missouri, go around the world to Pakistan, and then land between the guy's shoes, right, and blow up a space as big as a traffic square. When you hit when you come to the traffic light, that square that no one's in, uh, vaporize everything in a zone that big and leave everything around it standing. It's amazing. Evaporates people. 25,000 degrees. What? Um, yeah, so let's see what we get. Also saw an article where the Ukraine caught some Russians dressed as Ukrainians and they killed them. I wouldn't, yeah, it's a war. You got caught out there. They shot that guy down, right? But then the Russians shot missiles at this island and killed these guys on this island. And they were lightly armed. It's sort of like in Times Square, there's a guard post where you can go, very famous one, and join the military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Like, if someone invaded and caught those guys there that day, those guys are just dressed in their civilian like dress uniforms, right? They're not ready for war. They didn't even have time to properly arm those guys. I'm sure they had a couple of handguns and maybe a couple of rifles and a helmet and a truck. That's it. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, I mean, it's war. People are dying. I mean, they said they hit that house and killed a 15-year-old. It's that random. They just ran over that car. That I'm surprised that guy survived it. Uh, but we said last week, we said a couple of days ago, rather, before this whole thing went down, that that thing that I saw about interviewing people around Russia, going, man, what are we doing? I was like, oh wow, well there you have it. But we were saying on this channel, while everybody else was confused, we were saying they were going to get invaded because who puts 100,000 troops on all three sides of another nation? That right there is planting moves, right? And everybody just squawked about it while it was happening. You knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. No, it's a training exercise. A training exercise that turned into a real exercise. Then he threatened everybody with nuclear war. Don't you come around here. Don't you stop this. Something else is going on though. So we got to get through this. I saw that Tank run with that car and was like, holy shit, that guy's up. Yeah, I know. Yeah. That, yeah. And then the tank just sat on the car for a while, right? OG Classic Jones just sat there. And then, yeah, yeah. It's amazing. Although most of this is, yeah, okay, one more paragraph for this. The official indications, the official cited indications of Russian amphibious so Western America put 200 missile launches so far. The United States has observed more than 200 missile launches so far. Although most of the Russian targeting have been against the Ukrainian military installations, some of the missiles have landed on civilian areas, civilian residential areas, officials said. Ukraine's military was putting up a fight, officials said. What else you going to say? This is what Saddam Hussein was saying. Don't get it wrong. I mean, Russia has a serious military. Um, America has a serious military. Right. I mean, you would have to have a great insurgency in America to have it do anything because the military and the apparatus is mwah. But when that happens, those people from that military apparatus will split off from it and do it. It won't be, you know, Bob and Larry who have beards on the weekends and then storm the Capitol talking about their running shit. It won't be those guys. Um, they're fighting the country. They are fighting for the country. The official said, noting that Russia has yet to establish control of the airports above Ukraine or use the extent of its electronic warfare capabilities. In general, the Russians have lost a little bit of their momentum. Of see, you talk. This shit is not over. It's day two. They could just be like, "Oh, really?" Click and turn the fucking spigot on this thing, and all of a sudden, there's so many Russians in that place, you'd swear that it was Moscow, right? Don't tip them by going, well, they haven't done, maybe they're going, uh, is this a bit, can we get out of this? Is this a good idea? And then they look on TV going, the Russians are pussies. Look, they're fucking this thing up. And they're like, oh, what? Oh, well, now we just gotta go in. So don't don't push them. Don't poke the bear. Well, are they a bear? What are they? What are the Russians? The Russians are a bear, right? Don't poke the bear, says the eagle. What is Bob Marley? Here come the eagle. Here come the bear, and they're fighting to control the lion's dominion. I love those songs. Um, the Ukrainian military putting up a fight. They're fighting for the country, though, officials said, knowing that the Russians are yet to establish control of the airports above the Ukraine or use a sense of its electronic warfare capabilities. In general, the Russians have lost a little bit of their momentum, and the official said in general, the Russians have lost a little bit of their momentum, the official said, period. The official said that what? Why would you end it and then start with the official said period? The official said several hundred American citizens have left Ukraine over the past 24 hours. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's read this one. That is just Biden administration debates legality of arming. Wait, why is Biden on? Look, America's always giving people guns. Oh my God. Oh my God. Biden administration. Let's move this a little over. Do we want to put this up? Let's put this up. All right. Present on stream. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's click that. Let's click that. Let's dismiss this. Let's hide this. Let's get back to here. All right. So you give them wooden shaped guns, Kiev crew. Look at how young these people are. Civilians trained to hold. Civilians trained to hold. Civilians trained to hold wooden replicas of Kalashnikov rifles as they take part in training session at an abandoned factory in the Ukrainian capital of Kiev on February 6, 2022. This was 3 weeks ago. The United States is debating plans to support armed Ukrainian resistance as Russian. And here's another thing: when the Russians invaded Afghanistan, we gave the Mujahideen, which turned out to be the Taliban, right? We gave those guys guns and SANS, land to aircraft missiles, right? People who could barely master the technology. They didn't even master that. Could barely operate the technology of a radio. America went in there with those farm so just to teach them right and armed them, and they fought back the Russians. And then we went in 10 years later, and the Russians armed the Afghanistan. By then, they were known as the Taliban after 9/11, and the Russians armed them. The Russians and Americans made the Taliban the hot shit show that it is. Um, they don't have. I mean, they don't have a book between them, but now the government has all this Western warfare paraphernalia. People in America just need to be fucking arrested. The United States is debating to support them. Why would you give them guns? The the I'm sorry, I'm just in my head about this. It doesn't make any sense to me. The United States is debating plans to support armed Ukrainian resistance as Russia mounts a massive. It's not massive. A massive invasion. It's an invasion that the U.S. officials believe is aimed at toppling the Ukrainian government. Why would you have an invasion that isn't aimed at toppling the government? Who wrote this? Jack Desch, foreign policy, Pentagon, and national security reporter. and Robble Grammar. Robble? Robble. Robble. Who named you Robble? That's horrible to do to a child. Grammar. Gramer. You don't even spell grammar with two M's. God, your grammar is even wrong. I hate both of you. All right. Oh my God. What is going on? The world is upside down. It doesn't make any sense. The United States is debating plans to support armed Ukrainian resistance as Russians mount massive invasion that the U.S. believe is aimed at toppling the Ukrainian government, underscoring fears and watching that the Ukrainian military could buckle on the offensive from tens of thousands of Russian soldiers. The administration, yeah, Kiev is not as big as Russia. Russia has way more soldiers, right? Just like we have way more soldiers than Britain because we're bigger, right? More place to protect, more land to protect, more citizens to draw from. The administration internal debate described three officials and congressional aides as heated, with some officials expressing questions that arming Ukrainian resistance could make the United States legally a co-combatant to a wider war with Russia and escalate tensions between the two nuclear powers. We don't stand for shit. We should watch that. Over the past year, some administration officials have repeatedly warned against military moves that could inadvertently escalate tensions with Moscow. My official position is fuck Moscow. I mean, I know it's unpopular. It's my official position. Why do we have to stop and take preventive measures for their wants and their fears? That doesn't make any sense, right? Why should Kiev not be allowed to break away? We broke away, right? And follow their own path. But to be honest, the British did this to us. They tried to get us back. There was a war. There was two of them actually, right? Excuse me. So, I mean, we didn't become tight with Britain until like 1910, right before World War One, and they've been milking that shit ever since. They meaning both governments. Don't we love each other? We're the best of friends. I'm like, you burned down the White House. Maybe we maybe we should not be so happy to whitewash our complete history. We will see what happens, but this whole thing doesn't make any sense. We're not arming these people. We're not, well, I mean, we're obviously going to be arming these people. They're not part of NATO, but we armed the Taliban, and we were fighting against them. So we're going to see what happens. What is this next one? Um, CBS News. The second army may be better. They said they need IDs to get weapons, which makes sense. Also, so I wonder whether Ukraine caught some Russians. All right, let's see what this is. Yeah, this is the scene where this car runs over this guy. It's just, I mean, oh, good Lord. What is going on with this thing? All right. He just runs over this car. Crunch. Then he sits on him. All right. Kiev, Ukraine. Ukrainian Minister of Defense had issued calls for civilians between 18 and 60 to take up arms to help defend the country. But on Friday, as Russian troops got close to the center of the city, he also asked anyone over the age of 18 to volunteer. The government also banned men between the age of 18 and 60 from leaving the Ukraine, which makes fucking sense. How are you going to leave? This is that whole women and children first shit, right? When they invade your country, the men, I don't care how old you are, you sort of have to do something, right? How you getting on a plane and getting out? What? The same thing happened with this Afghanistan stuff. Those 60,000 people. First of all, hard hearted as I am, no one should have left. Defend this country. This is a flaw. If you didn't take a side, why are you leaving? You should have taken a side. You didn't take a side. Why are you leaving? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got her, but it's a day late and a dollar short. The the wolf is at your doorstep. I'm pretty sure they trained some, but not nearly enough. All right. Russian troops got close to the center of the city. He asked anyone over the age of 18 to volunteer. The government has also banned men between the age of 18 and 60 from leaving the country. CBS News saw a steady stream of people entering one makeshift recruitment center in Kiev on Friday morning, ready to join the fight. God bless them. This is my country. I have my family here. I have a duty to protect my family and protect my country. And this is the duty of each and every Ukrainian. 44-year-old Georgy, Georgy, a map maker by trade, a map maker. I'm just going to assume he does that by computers because I had, yeah, all right, I'm an idiot. A map maker by trade who was arriving to defend Kiev told, who was arriving to help defend Kiev. When after if the Ukraine was ready to fight, he said, "Look at these guys. This is what happens, right? You look at these guys and you fucking laugh." I'm first of all, I'm proud of them. They're not wearing sneakers. God forbid this has to happen to you. Don't wear sneakers. Seriously, what's wrong with y'all? Um, but this is the way shit gets started, right? It starts with a ragtag group of people until somebody trains them. America Revolution was with farmers, right? I mean, granted, everybody telling you to fight was lawyers and shit, but the people who did the fighting were farmers, some merchants, right? They look like this until they got all professionalized up, and then they were a fucking beast, and they remain a beast today. The mayor of Kiev said on Friday that the city was in defense phase and that through the situation was difficult, the military would defend the capital. Okay, so I play this game. The commander told CBS News that a group of fighters would spread throughout the city when after they were ready to fight street by street, they said that they were ready to die. Ugh, wow. Wow. I don't even know what to tell you. Where is this thing? Here it is. Stop doing that. Uh The U.S. has also been training the military for urban guerrilla warfare. Yeah, but the American military trained everybody for urban guerrilla warfare. American military trained Saddam Hussein for God's sakes. So you know what I'm saying? Exactly what I'm saying. I don't want to offend anybody, but you know what I'm saying. Um, and nobody was held responsible. Uh, present on stream. Stop presenting. That term "stop presenting" sounds like some sexual term, like Richard Attenborough up in here. All right, that's it for me. I am gonna go play some video games and win. Right. So there's this game called Bannerlord. Right. I played this game called Bannerlord, and here's the thing. There's part of the game you can are siege castles. Right. Uh So if you're Kiev and it's a city and you're under siege by a giant army, that can only last so long. You can't remain in a place, even a city. You will eventually run out of food and outside sources can cut your water off, right? This whole thing is a fucking. This whole thing is a mess. It's the whole thing is a mess. It's a mess. Um, dude, what are you doing? So I think you have to arm them. I don't think you have any choice but to arm them. Uh, I don't know what good it's gonna do. They're a professional army. Um, and it's a major city, right? So your resistance to them, excuse me, your resistance to them needs to be closer, right? You can't get at them from afar. You can't. You need so you need to get them closer where you're gonna attack them. Like the Iraq insurgency, right? That military vehicle has to come close to that IED, right? I mean, they weren't taking you on, right? You would drive into a thing, there'd be an ambush, and they were willing to die. These people aren't willing. I mean, I'm sure they're willing to die, but they're not called to die for Allah, right? They're trying to survive this thing. So, but there's you're gonna have and militaries expect this. But that's how you beat a superior army. You go to ground. Okay, okay. I thought someone was handing over AR-15 and saying, "Make it happen, Captain." Oh, yeah. So that's what I thought. I thought they were handing out weapons to the Ukrainians. But trust me, I'm sure. Uh, who is it? Smith and Wesson and all the other bullet makers are in there going. You know what? You want to drop the Russians first shot. We've got these special round jacketed happy-go-lucky hip-hop special made in Brooklyn for you, guaranteed to kill a Russian. How much do you Americans want for this? Oh well, we can let. I mean, we are your allies. We can let these go because you're our allies. We can let these go for a song. Let's say $30 a bullet, and there's XYZ per case, and someone see per box and XYZ boxes per case, and XYZ cases per gross per shipping. So yeah, I think we can get you $1 for it. Oh, and before you know it, they're back in their giant house. These are the people who are saying that you don't know who they are, but they're super rich and they work around government, and you don't know who they are. Um, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that if people were making a buck off of this shit already. What was the thing I heard about the stock market? Um, it's not if it bleeds, it leads. That's what they say about the paper. But if there's a bloodbath, buy. Is that in that they say? If people are getting creamed on the stock market, you should buy. If you have like the money, you should buy. But the idea is that if you have money, you're one of the lucky ones because people are getting creamed in the stock market. Derp. Um, all right, I guess that's it for me. I want to thank everybody who came through, who hung out with me on this Friday. We'll be back tomorrow, 6:30. Come get some. Hopefully this room will be clean. I've been working on cleaning this room forever. But now that I got the pedal coming, I gotta move this organ, keyboard organ. Um, gotta do the other. Oh yeah, it's gonna be mwah. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to hit the next step. Whatever that's excuse me, whatever that step is, whatever it is. This is what I do, right? Because otherwise I'd be sitting here watching TV, 16 hours of Ukraine. I'd watch it and just be like, why would you? What is the angle? Why would he do this? But at the end of the day, it's one thing if I somebody from Washington was like, wow, we watch your podcast and you seem to have your finger on the pulse and what's the dramarama, right? I'd be like, oh wow, well, all this stuff, look at this dust. All this stuff has come in handy. I can be useful with it. But that's not gonna happen. What's gonna happen? I'm gonna have a giant, massive coronary So I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna sit here and go, I know what you're doing, world. I'm watching you. I'm gonna lean into spiritual excellence. And by that I mean the guitar. Oh, I've cut my amp off. So I also noticed I'm gonna have to get a new amp for this pedal board, which is fine because I think I need a new amp, but I was also wanting to get a new guitar. So I essentially need a new everything. Ugh. It's good fun. Get a hobby, spend a little money on it, laugh and giggle about it, and hopefully you'll get better. But don't get lost in the day-to-day news people shit. Because I know people and it's making them miserable and it's making them crazy. And this is somebody who it made miserable and it made crazy. I was crazy after Occupy Wall Street. And then I was just kind of like, fuck this. And it took me a few years to kind of clear my head on it and get to this weird place of, that's the problem. And then thanks to this pandemic, it took me a few more years to go, I'm officially done. Um, So we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens because you can't keep taking in bad news all the time and not have it affect you, right? And if you want to undo the effects of it, you just can't cut away cold turkey. You have to do something else. You have to put that energy into something else. Um, and that's where that is. But nobody goes to church, right? Because you can't be around people. Uh, but oddly enough, people can go to NASCAR and the ball game and the football game. I don't even know. I don't even understand it. Um, I don't understand it. We'll see. We're gonna be streaming video games in the next couple of days on Twitch. We start the first of the month, which is Tuesday. Okay. I should be up and ready by Tuesday. It won't be the best stream. Won't be the best stream, but that's all right. It'll be a stream. Um, I have to figure out if I'm gonna do it at 10 a.m., 10 or 11 a.m., or if I'm gonna do it at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Because if I do that 2 p.m. in the afternoon, I can do 4 hours and stop at about 6 and then go take a nap. Or I could do like my favorite streamer. He does 2 hours to like 5, and then he comes back at like I want to say 9 and goes to about 11:30, 12. And I was like, oh, okay, that seems fair. Two nice little small hitches. We'll see. I don't even know, man. But we got to get some gaming in here because I got to tell you, you are not going to siege my castle, baby. If we play Bannerlord, it's gonna be awesome. Cause I am gonna be the right proper dictator that you deserve when you watch a stream about a guy uniting all of what I think is Europe, right? Um the Romans, essentially it's got the Romans, it's got the Gauls, it's got the Mongols, it's got the Crusades, I think are like the Egyptians. So it's got like and the Greeks. So it's got five classic the Greeks, the Romans, it's got five classical like periods of the army: horse cavalry, spears, bow and arrows, lords. You can take their castle, have them executed. Mwah! It's a genius of a game. And Tuesday we're gonna start a new playthrough, and you can come through and see me straight up unite the land of what's the name of the land in that game? Not the Kuzites. The Kuzites are the people. The Valandia. No, the Valandians are. God damn it! All right, I'll be better scripted when I lose my XYZ and be extra meta when we play this game on the first. It's either that game or Crusader Kings. It's one of the two. And I'm thinking of palate cleanser is going to be Mass Effect because I love space games. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, 35 minutes. We can be out of here in 60 seconds. I will see 40 seconds. I will see you in the next one. Next one's tomorrow. We're going to start streaming games on Monday. We're still going to talk politics. We're going to re-kick up all the fun stuff. We're going to do the thing we're here to do. And we're going to end this show in about 30 seconds. So please, whoop, like and subscribe. Super important, super duper important. And I We'll see you in the next one. And the next one is tomorrow at 6:30.